Namaste. International Women's Day is a global day celebrated annually on March 8th to commemorate the cultural, political, and socio-economic achievement of women. You must be wondering why it is celebrated on this day. While many people think of it as a feminist cause, its roots lie in the labor movement. In 1908, the International Garment Workers Union organized 2 mass strikes in New York to protest against long working hours, low wages, and poor working conditions of women working in the garment industry of the United States. In 1910, the Socialist Party organized an international conference of working women in Copenhagen, in which a German communist leader, Clara Zetkin, proposed the idea of an annual day for women for addressing their needs and demands. Following this, in 1911, International Women's Day was honored for the first time in Austria, Denmark, Germany, and Switzerland, and later in 1913, the date was changed to March 8th. In 1975, during International Women's Year, the United Nations recognized March 8th as International Women's Day and started celebrating it as a day for women's rights. Purple, green, and white are the colors of Women's Day. Purple signifies justice and dignity, green symbolizes hope, and white symbolizes purity. Every year, the theme of International Women's Day is designed keeping in mind the sustainable development and growth of women. The theme for the year 2022 is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow, and the hashtag campaign is Break the Bias, which means imagine a gender equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination, a world that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive, a world where difference is valued and celebrated. Together, we can forge women's equality. Collectively, we can all break the bias. Now, let's watch a real-life story of the achievement of an ordinary woman from Kerala. Annie Shiva is the sub-inspector of police at Varkala police station. She joined the service on June 25, 2021 at the age of 31. The remarkable fact is that 10 years before, she was selling ice creams, candies and lemonades in the same place for earning a living. At the age of 18, she left her home and got married. 2 years later, when her son was born, her husband abandoned them, and since then she had to fight her life alone. She did all sorts of jobs, starting off by selling soaps and detergent door to door. Then she turned into an insurance agent, grocery delivery person, and so many. Some days, even getting a single meal a day seemed like a luxury. I've helplessly watched my son crying out of hunger and go to sleep, she says. While on one hand, every bit of adversity fueled her courage, on the other, she learned to cope up with her difficulties.
I used to love my haircut, but decided to cut it off. It made me feel comfortable, gave me safety, and made me feel free from everything that was trying to oppress me. I felt stronger, she says. Meanwhile, she completed her graduation and joined a training institute at TVM in 2014. She cracked the police constable exam and joined the service in 2016. She appeared for the officer's exam in 2019 and cleared it. After 1.5 years of training, she is now the sub-inspector of police. She said, "My father always wanted me to be an IPS officer. I studied for over 20 hours a day and finally I cleared the exams. Every time life tried to pull me down, I worked 10 times harder to come out strong. 10 years before, I was selling ice creams and candies. But now, I am the sub-inspector at the same place. What more revenge can I take against my yesterdays?
You might be wondering why such a documentary on an ordinary woman like Annie Shiva would be of much help. But can you take a moment to think whether the so-called Annie Shiva was actually ordinary? Yes, she was extraordinary. The life of Annie Shiva was not at all pleasurable. She started off her career as a lemonade seller, but went ahead to be the sub-inspector of police. Her life is always retold as a motivational story to inspire women across the world and make them realize that even women can do great things. Then why is it that our society is still male dominant? Why do we still believe in gender stereotypes? Is it the problem with our families? Our schools maybe? Or is it our traditions that need a change? Think about it. So, as we conclude this, I want you all to realize that at the end of the day, we can all endure much more than we think. It is our responsibility as the future generation to take the lead, end gender stereotypes, and show the society that women can do great things. Happy International Women's Day to all the women who made it till here and to all the men who helped them make it.